What's going on, everyone? It is Destroy with Astro DfS bringing you the last position for the slate. We're just going to quickly talk about defense. Is probably going to be one of our shortest videos, but we're just going to make it short and sweet. If you're looking for our line strategies, I'm probably going to have them out tonight, probably early tomorrow morning. That way, if anyone's interested in using our lines or seeing who we're picking, um, or who our favorite likes are. We're not going to put our exact lines in, just a lot of our pivots. So yeah, let's just get into the defenses. Defenses is always a up in the air question. Sometimes it pays off for people and it makes them cash. Sometimes you waste or you spend too much money and you lose talent for position players. Like for instance, the last 2 weeks, we picked Detroit's defense 2 weeks ago against Kansas City, and it paid off. Um, or not against Kansas City, against Philly, and it paid off. They got a kick return for a touchdown. They were only 2,300, so definitely big for us. And then last week we had Carolina, who got us 14 points. So, yeah, defenses are good if you can get a cheap one. Gives you more salary for your players. So Patriots 4,300, Washington. Let's just see Patriots defense, the game logs. So the least amount of points they've allowed, or least amount of points they've given for fantasy wise, 10. So the default, their floor is the default. They hit 37 against Miami, 25 last week against Buffalo, 11 against the Jets. Um, they're facing Washington this week, who doesn't know their quarterback situation. I believe Colt McCoy is going to start. If I'm not mistaken, we can go and check it really quick. I don't believe Case Keenum is not playing, and they don't want to put Dwayne Hoskins in there. So let's just make sure. Questionable. Colt McCoy is starting. So we have a Colt McCoy led offense facing the best defense fantasy wise in the league. So 4,300. If you are willing to pay 4,300 for the defense, go for it. Like if that's what you're really confident for, we've seen they put up 37, they put up 25, they put up 10 plus points, easy right there. If you pay down a little more, probably one of my favorite defenses now looking at it, especially with everyone going to play. And then you have Khalil Mack playing his Oakland team. And I know Khalil Mack is going to go ham on Oakland. They are playing overseas, so there's no majority favorite here. Bears defense looks good. As you can see, the most points they've allowed all season is 15. The most passing yards, 287. They're playing a Derek Carr-led offense, and Derek Carr has not shined. He might be without Tyrell Williams. I think Tyrell is going to play, though. But still, they have Kyle Fuller locking him down. That linebacker core looks really good. Defensive line is phenomenal. The most rushing yards they allowed is 90, and that was against Lindsey and Freeman. And that was the least amount of points they had was 5. They're playing a really, really bad offense who is not in sync, does not have a number 2 wide receiver, relies on Darren Waller a lot to get a lot of those quick check down receptions. They don't have a good slot receiver, which is probably Bears' defensive weakest position is the slot corner. But yeah, this is a really, really good position for him. Oakland's defense is hurt, so maybe we see Bears score a lot more. It's going to be a slower pace game because the Bears are just going to try to get the lead and then hang on to it. So we have a lot of opportunity for some sacks. And as you can see, Bears had 6 sacks, 4 sacks, 2 sacks against Denver, and 5 against Green Bay. Oakland has a hurt offensive line as well. And Khalil Mack is just playing his former team. Like that's the main thing. That's why I love the Bears this week. 3,800. They're not too expensive, but I think they're worth the pay up. The Eagles are going to be playing the Luke Falk Jets. The reason I'm not going Philly, you can play Philly if you want. They have a terrible pass defense. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Granted, Jets don't have a pass offense, but still anything could happen. We've seen it with a bunch of rookies. Anyway, the Eagles are just way too expensive and have not shown out for anyone to take a chance. The Ravens are playing Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. Same thing. Ravens have allowed over 300 passing yards a game. Granted, they've played some pretty good offenses in Arizona, Kansas City, Cleveland. But the thing that scares me is the sacks. The most they've gotten in the game is 3. You can see it there. You had 3 interceptions in 4 games, so I guess, yeah. But I like a team that gets sacks, puts pressure on the quarterback, and causes them to make some unnecessary throws, some really tough decisions, and ends up in an interception. So I don't really like Baltimore here. Saints against Tampa Bay. It's a really big toss-up for me. Saints have a good defense. They've proven that. They've shown that. Held Dallas to 10 points last week, and Dallas's offense has looked really, really good this year. Still, their defense isn't that good, and in all honesty, Jameis Winston and that Tampa Bay offense looks really good. So until their momentum is cut down, New Orleans has potential to get a lot of sacks. New Orleans offense does not do what I want them to do in order for me to take their defense there. Houston is playing Atlanta. That game, in all honesty, I think is going to be probably one of the highest scoring games Sunday, just because both offenses have such potential for a lot of passing yards because both defenses can give up a lot of yards. So not favoring either Texans or Falcons defenses here. A really good pick this week, guys. I know a lot of people are against it. Minnesota playing the Giants. Minnesota has a really, really solid defense, in my opinion. The most points they've given up all season is 21. I think they're starting to click. Granted, they gave up 16 to the Bears, but still the Bears. So, like, I'm just going to be biased against the Bears because I'm a Bears fan. But Oakland, they kept to 14 points. Green Bay, they allowed 21, and then Atlanta 12. So the thing, again, is the sacks that kind of worry me. They do have a really, really good shot this week if they can shut down Gallman, especially with Shepard being back. Like, Giants offense looks really promising in a way, especially the way Daniel Jones is playing. But I think Minnesota is just going to put too much pressure on Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones is probably going to have a bad week if they try to run the ball. If they just pass 80-20, which I don't think they're going to do. Daniel Jones is not going to have a good game, so I really like the Vikings defense there. Bills against Tennessee. Bills, the only reason I'm not going to go Bills, same thing. They have a really, really solid defense. I mean, haven't allowed more than 20 points this season. They do give up a decent amount of yards. Not too much, but they're playing Tennessee's offense, which is really out of sync. They can show that they have potential to put some points on the board, but Buffalo's defense has locked down a lot of teams. I mean, hell, they almost beat New England last week, so definitely potential there. Really looking forward to that. Just got to see if the budget allows a 3,100 defense for me. Jaguars playing Carolina. They're going to be without Jalen Ramsey, so that might make me want to play some Carolina players. Definitely gets me off Jacksonville as much, so looking for Christian McCaffrey to maybe destroy that defense. Titans are playing Buffalo. A little cheaper than Buffalo's defense. I don't really like the Titans' defense as much as other people do. They let Gardner Minshew and that Jacksonville offense just do whatever they pretty much wanted to, except for the rushing. Leonard Fournette got that big rush, but they're paying Buffalo. Frank Gore's looked really good. If they have Devin Singletary back, that really makes me not want to go Buffalo. And Josh Allen leads that team. So if Josh Allen is playing, which I think he is, I think he just passed a concussion protocol. Definitely not liking Tennessee's defense there. Arizona, hate them. Plain and simple. Their defense is terrible. Broncos just lost their best defensive lineman, especially for sacks. Have a really good defense, but without Bradley Chubb, I think that defense is going to slowly fall apart. Cowboys playing Green Bay, which might be good, but I think Aaron Jones is going to get some rushing yards and possibly some rushing touchdowns. Don't like Dallas at 2,800. Not playing Oakland. Like I said, their defense is just too hurt right now. That whole team is too hurt, and they're playing Chicago, and Khalil Mack is going to lead that team to an easy victory. Chargers, same thing. They just have a lot of injuries. Like, if you give me that Chargers defense playing Denver this week, and they're all healthy, I'm taking Chargers defense, but they're really hurt, really banged up, and I just don't like the matchup, to be 100% honest. Panthers against Jacksonville. Gardner Minshew's been pretty legit. Panthers defense has been pretty legit too, so it's going to be a good matchup. I just don't know if Gardner Minshew is going to continue what he's done so far, or if Carolina is going to shut him down. But if you're interested, Carolina's 2,600. They don't have a terrible matchup. They've got a high of 8 sacks in a game. They destroyed Kyler Murray in that game. In that second half, that was crazy. And then they got lit up by Jared Goff week 1, but that happens. Week 2, Tampa Bay scored 20 on them. Just kind of see. They give up a lot of yards. That's the only scare. If Jacksonville can score, then I don't like Carolina's defense. Hate the Giants defense. They have no one on defense. Bengals defense, same thing as Arizona's that game. I already said about the Falcons, Texans, Packers. I think I don't necessarily hate them, but I don't necessarily love them. They've been pretty solid until they played Philly. Philly exposed that defense pretty well, but I can see Green Bay easily at $2,400. I can see them easily locking down Dallas, especially because they have one of the best corners this year right now. Like, Alexander is just playing out of his mind, and if he locks down Amari Cooper, they're going to have to really rely on Randall Cobb, Jason Witten, and Ezekiel Elliott, possibly Devin Smith, but we haven't seen Devin Smith yet, so I like Green Bay. To be fairly honest, 2,400. And guys, here is this is going to be the last team I talk about. The Jets, 2,300. If you guys need to just throw a defense in there, pick the Jets. I'm telling you, a lot of people are off them because they're playing Philly. But we've seen they have 5 sacks, 3 games, almost 2 sacks a game. They have 3 defensive touchdowns. 3. 2 of them came against New England's offense. Granted, one was a pick 6. It was a pick six against the backup quarterback. But their Jamal Adams is such a good safety, and he makes that defense play good. On the other hand, Philly's offense is really good and could burn them. You could see the Jets. I mean, the Jets gave up 30 to New England. Like I said, they did get 2 defensive touchdowns, so that helps the points. They got 16. They can easily get interceptions on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz can make mistakes very easy. We've seen it. Cleveland, even when they had their 3rd string quarterback in, they got 5 defensive fantasy points. They really held Cleveland's offense. I'm not saying they're a really good play, but if you need to save money, they have a really good potential here. Just put that out there. That'll be the last defense we talk about. I might have another video out tonight, guys. I'm not fully sure. If not, just look forward to the video tomorrow morning, going over line strategies. Let me know in the comments who you like a defense, who you don't like a defense, who I could be wrong about, and who you like that I said I like also. So let us know in the comments, guys, and we will see you in the next video.